Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica Show. We are going to be chatting to the one and only Jacques Vallée a little bit later about, you guessed it, UFOs. And, of course, Red Pill Junkie's going to join us for that interview, which is great to get those two together. I don't know if you guys remember, but we heard Red's story about how enamored he was to meet Jacques at, was that UFO Congress a few years ago?
I think so.
No, it was in Mexico,
yes.
Wasn't it?
No,
it was in Mexico City.
No, I think it was...
well, we'll find out.
I think he went to the UFO Congress.
We'll find out a little bit later. But, yeah, so looking forward to this one. And so is my co-host across from me here, the one and only Graham. I'm on video right now, and I didn't even know that Dunlop.
No, really?
Yeah.
Come on. Where is it?
It was the best I could come up with on short notice.
Why?
I don't know. Why not? I like to surprise people.
What do you do? Really?
I'm wearing a robe, bro.
A robe, bro?
Robe, bro. A bro robe? Is that more apt?
So why are we doing the video? I don't get it.
I don't know. I just threw it up.
For what?
Because I figure we won't be able to do any interview videos this week, so I just throw the intro up and surprise you.
All right.
And now I've thrown you off your game for the intro, so now I like you're vulnerable.
Where's the
for the
camera?
intro. It's that one. Yeah. Hi, guys. Probably nobody's watching because I didn't tell anybody.
Good.
So there's that.
Well, the problem is I got to read emails the other way. That's the problem. It's not set up. We're not set up properly for this.
That's okay.
Anyways, I got to order some new posters for behind me as well if we're going to do video, just to switch it up a bit.
Well, we got the new book, so we could, it came with that cool picture. We should put that up someplace.
Yeah.
The bookmark. Grimsteak's there. Hold it up so Grimsteak can see it. I feel like Grimsteak is always there. Anyway, so what do you got for us?
What do I got? Well, I got figured for this, I was going to do like a weather modification report, but it still might be a little fresh with Hurricane Irma flying around, and I figured... we're
going to get into the weather modification for the hurricanes eventually, but we'll wait till people have power.
Okay. So I've been saving up listener UFO sightings. I figured it's appropriate to do some UFO accounts for the Jacques Vallée episode.
Absolutely. So you want to jump right into the quotes right away?
And I've got a UFO quote as well, ready to go.
Dan and Graham are going deep. It's a profound
jumping right into the quote this week.
Quote of the week.
I feel like we forget to do it sometimes now.
No, sometimes. A couple months ago we did. I heard about it.
UFO quote
You got complaints?
I was going to do one from Jacques Vallée, but I thought that's, kind of lame, since we're going to be talking to him after.
Well, we know what. Why don't we have Jacques Vallée give us a quote at the end?
Okay, here's one.
Give us Jacques Vallée, say something that will become a profound quote in time.
Over the past 18 years, I've acted as a scientific consultant to the U.S. Air Force on the subject of unidentified flying objects, UFOs. As a consequence of my work on the voluminous Air Force files and to a greater extent of personal investigations of many puzzling cases and interviews with witnesses of good repute, I have long been aware that the subject of UFOs could not be dismissed as mere nonsense. And that was Dr. J. Allen Hynek, the chairman of the Department of Astronomy at Northwestern University and scientific consultant for Air Force investigations of UFOs from 1948 until 69. Project Sign, Grudge, and Blue Book.
It's a good year.
Yep.
I wouldn't know, but Woodstock and shit, right?
Yeah.
You weren't even born.
I feel like it was a better time back then. I was listening to some ELO on the way here.
You would have fucking went crazy back then. All there was commercial radio.
And it brought me back to like the 60s and 70s where it seemed, I don't know, it seemed like there was less bullshit.
Internet. You take the internet out of the equation and we're right back there, buddy.
Like I was listening to John Keel's essays on flying saucers and stuff, and it's amazing the stuff they were doing in the 60s. Like it was quite open, the investigations and all the people looking at it, and they were talking to the government about it. Now it's just all, it's all just ridiculed. I mean, it's opening up in a lot of other ways, I guess, but it does seem like in some ways we haven't even gotten very far.
If it was still the fucking 70s, we wouldn't have a show, bro.
That's
Unless
right.
we were like recording onto tapes and handing them out at the mall. I guess that could be something.
Could be.
I suppose people were doing that too, right?
Well, I think it was
wasn't
more
around.
radio, I think.
Radio?
Yeah.
Underground radio.
I guess people were probably recording into cassette tapes as well, yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, we used to record just for ourselves.
In
Do
little,
like fake little news things.
little cassette tapes, really?
Well, here's Trevor with sports.
No.
Yeah. Here I am doing the fucking same thing with you 30, 25 years later. Yeah.
Except not talking about sports.
No, talking about other stuff. Probably just as many people listening.
Huh.
Did I throw you off again?
Yeah.
Do you have any synchros?
No, I've got some sightings, so.
Sightings?
Yeah, sightings from listeners.
From listeners?
Yeah.
Ooh, I seen some of those come through, I think. There was also a sighting discussion going back and forth on the Facebook today. Actually, I'll look that up while you read those because it was from Float Tank. Isaac from
Yeah.
Float Tank,
Yeah.
Float Life.
Yeah.
Seen a UFO, I think.
Really?
I'll find out.
Okay, yeah, you look that up and I'll read a short one here. So this is from Selena. Hey guys, listening to episode 220 right now, and it reminded me of a sighting that happened with my husband and I. A few years ago, July 21st, 2013, I worked for a company and we'd won a trip to Suncadia, about 80 miles east of Seattle in Rundle, Washington. It was for a weekend on Saturday morning, so we went to the restaurant for breakfast. After we finished eating, we kind of sat there and enjoyed the view of the forest and river below. As we quietly sat, there was a shadow the size of an SUV that kind of moved over the trees. We looked up, nothing. No clouds, no plane, nothing. It was total blue sky that day, too. Then the shadow slowly moved across the trees away from us. At this point, we couldn't believe what we were seeing, so we got up and to go closer to the window and look up to see if it was a plane or not. Again, nothing. It got farther and farther away. It almost looked as if something shadow-like was crawling across the treetops, or something just slowly drifting overhead, and all we could see was the shadow. My husband doesn't believe in UFOs either, so he kind of looked at me and said, "Did you see that too? Meant to write you guys a while ago, but just haven't had any spare time." Oh, and in response to my last letter, the visual I had of you guys had me thinking of the kids from The Sandlot, all grown. Love that movie. Anyway, talk to you soon. I feel like that could have been like a cloaked UFO. And it's creating a shadow, but you can't actually see the UFO.
Like a Klingon?
Yeah, like a bird of prey or something like that.
Yeah. I heard a post the other day that said they're making the Klingons Trump supporters in the next Star Trek.
Oh, it's getting political. It's unbelievable. The propaganda in Hollywood. I'm losing my liking for that.
Oh, yeah?
Every movie now seems to have some bullshit in there about and it's usually one-sided.
Oh no, it's Todd Macy's filmed some UFOs over London.
Oh wow.
And then they just started then Isaac said military drone, and that's how Isaac got involved, I believe. So
Todd Akabisis was did a couple episodes ago with us, and
wasn't it last episode?
Was it? No, I think it was one before that.
Oh,
I don't know. Anyways, it was a great episode about synchronicities and synchro walks.
It was great. That was just
that. That was
yeah.
a fun one.
Ooh, someone was
Out-of-body
going to check
experiences.
it out.
Yeah,
Someone works just down the road.
Yeah,
from
we have
there.
a listener that's going to check it out.
Fuck yeah! Report back.
Yep.
Or you're out of the UK posse. Just kidding. You could become the leader of the UK posse. Actually, whoever goes and busts into that fucking fireplace and solves a Shakespeare mystery becomes the leader of the UK posse.
Yeah.
Which episode was that now? Who was it? That was,
That was going way back. Not way back.
Alan.
But,
Something
yeah.
Alan?
Alan, yeah.
Alan Richard?
No.
Richard Allen?
No.
Well, I'll find it. It's a Shakespeare one. It's a few episodes back.
It's a
I'll
good
put
one.
a link in the show notes. It was a good one. It was like fucking, it was like a thriller.
Yeah.
Like a mystery thriller.
Yeah. And he went and measured the pyramids.
Yeah.
People ask about him, that we should get in contact with him and see how it went.
Should.
Yeah, we should. Go for it.
Alan Green.
Alan Green, yeah.
You know, he just came out of the blue. Some fucking guy emailed me and was like, you got to have this guy on. Had CC'd him, and it was just like, boom, happened.
Yeah.
I had no idea what we were in for.
Yeah, that was great.
And those are the ones where you just sit there with your hair blowing back.
That was like a real-life caper.
Yeah. What happened next? So anyway, if you listen to that episode, your instructions are in there. But we didn't tell you to do that shit. Don't even mention you listen to the Grimerica Show. Delete all episodes of the Grimerica Show and destroy your phone before busting open the motherfucker.
Okay, do you want to do a jingle for this? This is Rob from Italy. He's got a email. He's got a UFO experience in there and a little bit of feedback.
Jingle.
Why not?
Okay, how about this?
And now another edition of the Grimerica Goodies by the people, for the people.
Watch the lip
You
sync.
shouldn't be on the... Okay.
Ooh, I know what I could jump into.
Hi there, guys. Right to the point. Am I the first Italian Grimerican show fan? I hope so. What do you think? First
No.
Italian? No.
No.
We did that great episode on that lake in Italy.
Lake Muerte?
Nevi, maybe? Lake Nemi?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that Italian guest. He was good, too. That was fun. Okay, I'm listening to the show since a couple months, and I really dig it. I like the fact that you guys...
You are the first Italian to email.
Yeah, that's probably true. I like the fact that you guys are very open-minded and don't fear any type of question or guest. Looking forward to supporting you with a donation and maybe a cool jingle straight from Italy. I wanted to get in touch with you just in case. I'd like to suggest inviting Angel from GreatGizaPyramid.com to the show. The guy's trying to reverse engineer the Pyramid of Giza, and he's pretty positive that the thing wasn't a tomb. Plus, he knows a lot about the code of Karl Monk. And it could be cool to add what Randall Carlson already said on the show.
Well, 99% sure that the fucking Great Pyramid is not a tomb.
Yeah. So what else? Is it Graham, the one tormented by UFO stuff? I'm not... Don't usually do. They would change pace to a slower one, then accelerate like crazy again. We were stunned. The day after, everyone laughed at us when we told what we saw. They thought we were stone cold drunk, but we saw the whole thing in 2. No drugs involved. That's it. That's my only UFO experience. I tried to invite all my friends to listen to the Grimerica Show, but most of them don't speak English at all. Keep what you're doing.
Translate that shit.
And have a good one in Canada.
We should get someone to translate the show. I wonder if our dry humor would come across in Japanese or something.
Is it dry?
I think mine is.
Yours is probably dry.
Yeah. Yours is just non-existent.
Thanks, right? I laugh. I've had some good laughs on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my best laughs are on the show.
Yeah.
What else you got? That's it.
No, I got another one.
Okay, you do that, and then I'm going to jump into some social media jangle.
We got a C-SETI coming up. C5 this weekend. Probably going to do a sleepover again.
A sleepover?
Out in the forest.
Ooh, it's going to be this weekend?
Yep.
You're sleeping out in the
Why
forest
is it
this
not?
weekend?
Why was wrong? Is it supposed to be cold?
Let me see. Hey Siri, what's the weather like this weekend?
I know it went from like 30 to 8.
Should be sunny in Chestermere this weekend. Daytime temperatures will start around 15 and will head up to 19, with overnight lows
Oh, there's something you don't see in a while. Look, it's rainy every day but the weekend.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Too bad it's going to fucking snow tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty cold all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's snowing.
Anyways, I don't care. I'll just
today.
snuggle up in a blanket, in a sleeping bag and whatever.
That's it.
Just for a few hours.
Yeah.
Apparently the cold's better to sleep in anyways.
Hopefully they'll take the fire ban off.
Yeah. So anyways, going up there this weekend. Wish us luck. Okay.
You want
So
me to
here it
wish
is.
you luck?
Yeah, I was looking for it, but you're too busy.
I'm looking for the jingle.
Okay, so this is a trip report / UFO sighting combo. You ready for it?
Yes.
So Graham, thank you for the show and all the wonderful hours of fascinating content you guys have given me. Here's a trip report with a UFO sighting that I experienced a few days ago. Last Saturday night, I had the welcome opportunity to use cannabis with intent.
Ooh.
Away from many of the day-to-day norms and distractions of my life, at approximately 11:30, I walked down to the shore of the lake at my childhood home under a particularly brilliant night sky. I centered myself, gave thanks, and focused my intent on being present in nature with myself. I smoked most of a cannabis cigarette. I'm a regular smoker, but my typical consumption is not much more than a hit or two a night from a one-hitter device, done in haste without much intent other than a stress relief or as a creative enhancer. That being said, I am no stranger to the strong effect that cannabis and other entheogens can induce. I observed the stars for a while with focused breath, noticed the beauty of the still lake at night, and just enjoyed the moment, standing alone on the shore.
Well, shore or what?
What?
Shore or what?
He was at his childhood home on the lake.
Oh. I was picturing the ocean for some reason.
Oh, really?
Was it a big
We
lake?
weren't listening to the initial couple of lines.
I'm still trying to find the jingle.
10 to 15 minutes later, I made my way up to the pool, which sits slightly above the lake and offers a beautiful view of the lake and the horizon. All the lights in the house and pool area were dark, and the night sky was unobstructed. I lay in the water and floated my back with focused breath, eyes to the stars, and just melted for a while. I became lost in the breath, near weightlessness, feeling and the beauty of the stars. I played with my buoyancy and its relation to the amount of oxygen I carried, body position, the pace of my breath. I drifted between fully floating on the surface and floating vertical and face down. The transitions between these positions was incredible, and the combination with my elevated state, breath, and the view. If I took more shallow breaths, my lower body would sink and my center of gravity would shift to the center of my chest. I felt like I was flying through space. It was an incredible and unique sensation. I'm not reading this very well. I drifted
You seem
in
like
this
you
state.
need a drink of water. You want some water?
I do, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Pew.
I probably lost the best spot here. So he felt like he was
I'm
flying
having a
through
fucking
space.
hell of a time myself.
It was an incredible and unique sensation. I drifted in this state and continued focused breathing until around 12:15 a.m. when something else amazing happened. I stood up in the water and leaned against the edge of the pool. I relaxed there for a moment while still looking at the horizon. Still mindful, but without focused breath. I noticed a sound to my left coming from the south-southeast. Shortly after, an object comes into view over the lake about 150 yards from me and maybe 150 to 350 feet in the air. I watched it as it passed above a large 100-plus foot tree on a point in the lake, 150 yards from me, traveling from southeast to northwest. My initial thought was that it was a plane en route to landing at a major regional airport about 25 miles northwest from my position. I happened to live in a very close proximity to the airport, and I thought it was heading to, but more on that later. As this object made its way across my field of view, my initial judgment gave way to me repeating, "What the fuck is that?" until eventually it faded from sight. At first glance, it looked like a large commercial aircraft with typical exterior lighting arrangements. But as I watched it pass, I noticed some very odd things. It was very large, traveling very slow, abnormally loud, but in a way I'm not familiar with, and its exterior lighting was off in a few ways. The lights were very brilliant red, blue, white, burnt orange at the aft end. There were no flashing lights, and the main body moved through my field of view. The aft end became more visible, and at least 2 rows of 3, maybe 4, glowing burnt orange light sources became apparent. These were not traditional navigation or landing lights. They seemed to be the glow from some sort of propulsion. My jaw was on the floor as I watched it fade out of sight. I stood there in disbelief for a few moments and started anchoring the details into my mind. I noticed all the things I relayed above to the best of my ability. The sound it made was a combination of a normal jet-type propulsion, but under low power, combined with a powerful humming, like electric crackling frequency. I'm trying to relate its size to aircraft I'm familiar with, but the best I can do is the largest of commercial aircraft, i.e. a 380 Airbus or a military C-5, which can be quite slow. No. Which can be quite a sight at low altitude. But I've seen C-5s countless times and even flown aboard one on a few occasions.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's been on a C-5.
What's a C5?
That's that big transport plane, that
Okay.
massive one that you see at the air shows all the time.
Okay. I was thinking like a
C5?
C5. Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait, whoa, this just stepped up.
I feel like the dimensions were pretty different, but I'm comfortable with claiming those as comparable in overall size to what I saw. I want to say the length from nose to the propulsion lift and tail section of the craft was longer than a typical aircraft, and a large percent of the overall bulk of the craft was carried in that aft quarter section. Picture a long cylinder with a large rectangular structure at the back, no apparent wings or lift producing shapes in sight. I don't know how to explain what I saw. I get how he's trying to anchor this in his mind, because that's kind of what happened to me when
And you saw your double decahedron?
yeah, I was like thinking about all the details and just sort of anchoring it in my mind, like trying to just remember it all. Like,
Too bad you didn't have an iPhone.
I know. It still wouldn't have
Would have
done
been a
it
shitty
justice.
picture,
Yeah.
Did you lose your spot?
Yeah. So he says, I still don't know how to explain what I saw. It was a very surreal experience from start to finish, and I stayed up for another hour or so, still reveling in the sighting and overall sense of well-being from the meditation/pool experience. So, caveats.
Caveats.
I'm by no means an expert on aircraft ID, but I was in the Air Force for 6 years and worked on the flight line in close proximity to many other aircraft. I also live 2.5 miles as the crow flies from an international airport with fairly consistent and heavy traffic. I'd say I'm very familiar with the sight of aircraft flying in close proximity to the ground because I see them landing or taking off pretty much every time I open my front door. I'm also aware of what air traffic looks like from my parents' home where this sighting took place. I've never seen a plane fly so low there. It's mostly cruising altitude with an occasional jet starting its landing approach or still climbing to cruising altitude, but even those are many thousands of feet up. I can't imagine why such a large aircraft would fly so low to the ground 25-ish miles from the airport. As I stand here now at my house typing this report, I'm watching a commercial jet coming into land, and it's easily twice as high as the craft I witnessed. See, that's the other part. You
Jesus, man.
The skeptics want to just say, oh, it must have been a plane or it must have been this and that, something conventional. But when you see planes all the time, you know the difference.
I keep forgetting we're on video, too.
What do you
It's funny. That day it was real cloudy. I want to say it was like 3 weeks ago. I don't know if I told you, but I was driving home from the shop, and it was a real low cloud. And I was like coming up that Rainbow Road, and I seen a fucking plane like dip out of the clouds, and he was like, I don't know if he was like, I was like, holy fuck, I've never seen a plane there before. And I live under a flight path. But it was
A
fucking
flight path?
a flight path. Yeah, they're kind of a flight path. So I see the planes are here, they're pretty low. It's cool. You can watch them. It's kind of loud once in a while, but anyway, I digress. Anyway, I couldn't believe it. This thing's like probably,
What kind of plane?
WestJet.
See, you can even tell what kind of plane
Yeah.
it was. I mean, this is the difference, right?
Yeah, and it just like dipped out of the clouds and was like, whoop, and then back into the clouds, and I never seen it again.
Huh.
For a second, I thought I was going to see a plane crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, also want to make a note on the meditation and breathing work I was doing in the pool.
Hey, did you bring the paintings?
No, I didn't make paintings.
Come
I'm
on.
going to interrupt the last part of the story
Sorry.
here. It was a very incredible and unique experience for me. I've had a handful of float tank, like sensory deprivation sessions, and despite the difference in some of the unique conditions you experience in the tank, floating in a pool like this, alone with the night sky displayed it all in glory, was amazing and not to be discounted. Next time I get in the tank, I will for sure be doing some breath work. Thanks again for an amazing show. Peace.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's from Kent.
Thanks, Kent.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Jeez. We had the new moon, dark sky, which is great. What are you doing? Had a plan camping.
Closing out the segment.
Went back there for the night. Crystal clear. Darkest night. Decided to read that meditation, did the singing bowl, and that shit starts happening. Pow, pow, pow. We started seeing flash bulbs. Okay. Streakers coming down. Grip them up. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Come on. Take my last name out of there. That's just a bit too much.
I say your name every episode.
I know, but that's different.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
It's like the greatest thing ever.
So anyways, we should do our support spiel, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, you do it.
Well, the best way to support the show, because we have no ads, no sponsors or affiliates or anything like that, is to donate any amount.
Any amount. The best way to support the show is just sign up for a monthly recurring amount, which you can do at grimerica.ca/support. You got everything there from $1 a month to $30 a month.
But any amount will get you the black budget
Any
support
month,
feed,
even a one-time donation,
which is extra content.
Yeah. I don't enjoy sending out the feed. If you do like a one-time donation of $2, it really like irks me. But, yeah.
So okay, let's talk about this. This is the process. You donate anything, and then Darren actually manually writes you an email with a link.
They're literally a two-man operation. Plus, actually, that's not true.
So it's nothing automated here or anything like that. So if you don't get an email that day, at some point, like it's not going to come right away. It's whenever Darren gets around to it. Just if you don't get it, you got to tell us and email us, and we'll make sure you get it.
Yeah, if you don't get it
Darren
within,
forgets sometimes. He doesn't even read my emails at all, so I can't imagine how he's managing this process.
If you don't get, I think I've got everybody. If you're a subscriber or a donator and you don't have it, then let me know. And if you do sign up for a monthly or do a donation and you don't get it within like 3 days, you could email me. Don't feel like you're bugging me.
Yeah.
Because I might like be halfway through it and something happens, or I mean to do it and then, it just happens. I think I get everybody, but who knows? We're only a two-man operation here with some help from
we get lots
outside
of help,
but all that stuff is two-man.
Yeah. It's all volunteer help.
Exactly. Thanks for volunteering, motherfuckers.
Bingo, bango, social media.
What are you doing?
Jingle. Don't forget
Oh, I thought we had more time left than we do. So I'm going to plow through a couple of these and then we're going to cut it off.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Because we've got an interview starting.
We're running out of time here.
We've got an interview starting in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Time flies in the igloo.
Yeah. It's next level. Okay, we've got 9/11 was an inside joke by David Rockefeller in the Pentagon. The Decashido. Great show as always. I like the as always. That's a shot at me. I don't even try to talk to people at 9/11 or any other event. I just tell them to watch Wag the Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Craig Fowler's.
I'm going to put that in the show notes because people will forget.
I like the radio thing of the first episodes. That was cool. Now you're affecting me. You're infecting me.
Well, it's from your strawberry cough stuff or whatever you're doing. That's why you can't have that kind of stuff in the studio. Like you really
green crack wax.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
See, I mean, it's Jesus. And I'm not even partaking. I can feel the dryness in my throat.
We got Natoli. Sorry, but this guy is a shill disinformation agent. I have followed the 9/11 thing for years, and this guy's a waste of time. If I could recommend the work of Dr. Judy Wood, the towers were turned to a fine powder in midair. Follow the trail back, and you realize that they designed and built the towers, the Illuminati, had this event planned in 2001, and the towers were built with the advanced technology built into the design. There is no rubble pile. Fake planes or TV trickery. There is no way the end of a plane wing could go through the steel box section. 12-foot tall people hanging out of windows. And he gives a bunch of links there. And then they start arguing. I don't, I do. We got the book right there. Our book came in today. I've been turned on to Judy Wood's work for a couple of years.
That's actually kind of what turned you around.
That's what really got me on. onto it, but you know, you need these guys too. You know, you're not going to get architects and engineers, I don't think, to go that far. Maybe they think that far, but they're not going to go on the record and say, I think it was fucking crazy technology that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Allegedly doesn't exist. And I'm on board with Judy Wood stuff. Just paid $100 for the book.
Yeah.
And we're going to have her on, but I still think, you know, maybe if these, my thought is, even if these guys do believe that, they're not going to come out and say it. You could easily destroy your career.
Yeah, I agree.
From our old buddy, Bill Anderson, this is going to be the last one. We'll do a longer segment next week because we've got an interview starting in about 90 seconds. From our good old shill Bill. Direct from the chats. The neighbor behind me works for an American Institute of Architects. He coordinates their meetings and conventions. He's a total creep. I have a barbecue and play music after dusk. He starts flashing his yard lights. You would think doing that kind of convention work, he would at least be out of town every so often. Nope. Always there. The young daughter of the other neighbor tries to practice violin in the yard during the weekend. He is bitching and yelling over the fence. She isn't real good at violin. But Jesus. And Joe Marr replied, well, you know what they say, Bill, you can't pick your neighbors. This should always be regarded as law, as opposed to a theory or opinion. I have been able to find no way around it. You find the perfect abode, and some person will come along and put a fly in your soup. The next time I find a house I'd like to buy, I will sit outside of my car like a creep just to monitor flight traffic. But until they invent an asshole detector, I doubt I'd be able to spot a bad neighbor. And we got our buddy Coop says, bless up, guys. I don't quite know what that means, but I like it. Hey,
Thanks,
Coop.
everybody.
Speaking of that, Coop's in the chat. It's doing his fucking peace emojis again. Hey, Coop. Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to fucking bounce so we can get into this interview.
Yeah.
And, enjoy the chat with
Jacques
the
Vallée
one and only Dr. Jacques. Is he a doctor?
and Red Pill Junkie.
Is he a doctor?
I don't think so.
One and only Jacques Vallée. Stop. How do I shut this fucking YouTube?
Do you want to just text him that we're...